How's it going, guys? Right now you're watching some of the gameplay footage of the Cyberpunk 2077. So, this is more or less of frequent asked questions about the Cyberpunk 2077, and one that pertains, obviously, it's the release date. So the CD Projekt Red, or should I say CD Projekt Red, said that it's something they won't be announcing till they're completely confident about one. While speaking about this, they've brought up of the example of The Witcher 3 and how the multiple delays for the game were quite painful for them and their fans, and that this is something they don't want to repeat. They said the game's development hasn't progressed to a stage where they can confidently show it to a larger audience, and it has things as such as bugs, buggy textures, and crashing issues that needed to be ironed out yet. This seems to be the very line of earlier reports. Of course, quite recently, we've learned that even though Cyberpunk 2077 is now playable from start to finish, development of the game is still far from over. They also talked about how the pressure of the expectations are after just how incredible The Witcher 3 isn't really something they are concerned with, and what they're focused on more than anything is making the most perfect game they can. Something they have taken cues from The Witcher 3 though. The elements player choice, with this something they've spoken on in the past as well. In such side quests in Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be interestingly tied on the main story, just like it did with The Witcher 3. Progress in a side quest will have an impact on how your story unfolds as well. Not doing side quests or mess up while attempting them will change how the main story progresses considerably. Which of course means that the entirety of the possible ending you can get may not be one of you're comfortable with. Any endings you get in the game according to CDPR will make players feel the weight of their earlier actions. Additionally, CD Projekt Red also noted that the simple playing role of the good guy at all times won't necessarily result in a good ending. But with something else CD Projekt Red spoke of briefly was the game's combat, which they described as being a blend of FPS and RPG, echoing earlier statements they've made on the subjects as well. They assured that fans that the shooting mechanics in the Cyberpunk 2077 are going to feel right, saying that one of the people working on a gun combat in the game is ardent of the Counter-Strike player. Things such as bending bullets that shoot through the walls, and the disassembling enemies with katanas have been mentioned by the devs in the past, and CD Projekt Red reiterated it in the inclusion of such things in the combat once again, when they brought up the example of katanas being able to deflect bullets. CDPR also spoke at some length about the CD's Project Red Cyberpunk 2077's world and how players will be able to interact with it intensively. For instance, if you see objects lying around the world, and you will, and any of these pique your interest, you'll be able to interact with them. On the subjects on the interior, CDPR confirmed that players won't be able to access the interiors of every single building in the game, because it's not each and every one of them can possibly have meaningful, interesting interiors, while this world also presents a larger issue of technical bugs. Meanwhile, customizing the player's appearances is something we've known for a while will be included in the game, but according to CDPR, it will actually be served as a purpose. NPCs in the game will react to your appearance appropriately, and their behavior might change on the basis of this as well. If you're wearing cool clothes or appeal or have some tattoos, people in the game will react to them accordingly. There's also been a matter of flying cars. Ever since these were shown in the Cyberpunk 2077 E3 2018 reveal trailer, people have been asking whether these will be drivable as well. Earlier, CDPR confirmed that while players can cause a bit of chaos with the ground vehicles, flying cars can't be controlled, unfortunately. However, at the Gamescom, actually, CDPR said that there's something they haven't really locked down yet. It's something they would love to include in the game, but given the density of the environments and their verticality, they would struggle to properly implement it into the game. Interestingly enough, they mentioned that the flying cars are primarily crashing well, clashing, I should say, with the possibilities of destructible environments, which is something that are briefly touched on in the past. It looks like for now it is either or situation with those two things, however. It's possible that neither end up being included into the game. Now, I want to get in touch and just say players' feedback flowing public gameplay reveal and following anyway. So, well, here what he says anyway, and Kaczynski. And well, I haven't read through any summary whatsoever. I would have read through the feedback, and general tone of the feedback is very positive, he replied. We are more than interested in what the players are thinking. We're quite self-conscious because of the game, like we said in a presentation, is not in its final stages. And I don't mention the imperfections. I also mean some solutions that are still subject to change. But following these two trade events, we decided to own that to the players that we should show them what we've got. Reception of our environment by the media that saw the demo in free and in Gamescom was pretty damn positive. And so what we can see, what we read through the feedback, what I managed to read tonight, and that was way more positive than he was actually expecting. Also on top of this, CD Projekt's lead designer project of the Miles Tost has shared some details in an interview with an IGN, in fact, regarding the environments that form of the Cyberpunk 2077. So this is what he says. We're trying to boost the interactivity of the world by adding details in the physical, said Tost. The game will have a lot of physics and destructions. You can see it in the demonstration area, and just plenty of it, as you can see by the gameplay. Tost has said that there will be a lot of blood in the game as well, and that will help to increase the dystopian world feeling that they're trying to create for the players. All this adds weight to the world, said Tost, to give life to our vision of what will be a very dark version of the future. The world of the Cyberpunk is not a nice place where we people are happy, said Tost. It is inherently dystopian, and we want to portray this unpleasant side of their life. The reality of armored confrontations with super advanced weapons in a world in which people install increases with military modifications in their arms and more parts. Electronic components that allow killing other people, he said. CDPR is still deciding if the environments will be totally destructible in the game, but it seems that could happen for now. Each platform has a limit, explained Tost. If you think about it, as a developer, how much do you want to squeeze it? Do you want to have more NPCs? Do you want to have huge city? Do you prefer destructible environments? Do you want the lightsaber or to be better or more complex AI? Alright, well, these were all, well, I presume all of them, well, at least most of the very interesting kind of questions and answers has been stated and pretty much told to us all in public regarding Cyberpunk 2077. After the gameplay demo that was shown up, there was so many of these questions answered, and I just wanted to make a video and just pretty much go over every single damn one and tell you what I think about it. Now, obviously, by the tone of my voice, I'm very excited for the game, obviously, like we all. And Destructibility, like when he mentions in these things, like very last thing I've just mentioned, what would you like to squeeze it in more? Do you want to have more NPCs? Do you want to have a huge city? Perhaps a destructible environments? Just make it look better, or more complexity in the AI? And to be honest, a little bit of both is both. A little bit of everything is good, but you know, there's always going to be a limit of how much your console, how much of your platforms can support. PC, in fact, in this case, like if you include all of this, where I have just mentioned to the maximum benefits and the that what it can limit it to, I don't think even 1080 Ti can even support it. Or heck, what was the auto graphics card that's been already announced? Like 2080. I believe so. I think it was the GTX will be popping up next. TSI or something was called, wherever. But basically, you know, those like cars, I don't think they will be able to hold it in over all of this awesomeness that will be happening. Anyway, I think I'm done rambling on. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think about CD Projekt's Red Cyberpunk 2077? Man, oh man, the gameplay is good. Cannot wait to see more, but unfortunately, As they have said, they are far from finishing. Even though you can't start from start to finish, you can play the game, but it's still a long way to go. Anyway, I digress. Tell me down in the comments, and see you guys later. Have a nice day. Like and subscribe as always, and yeah, have a good one.